All right, here we are. It's Friday. And this is my typical back day. Um, Back training for me is something that I've kind of gone through different phases with, where probably in the beginning, when I would train my back, I was using a significantly lighter weight and going more for a feel. This is, my earlier years of training. And I got good results. Definitely added like a nice like shape to my back and things like that. But I didn't get, maybe so much of the thickness that I needed. And as the years progressed, I started, trying to incorporate more weight. And in the very beginning, I wasn't big on deadlifts, things like that. And then I started doing them more as time went on. And actually, starting probably in 2009, when Oscar was helping me out, he was really big on heavy back training, and barbell rows with 4 plates and deadlifting 5 plates, and really using maximal weight. And that certainly had its advantage as well. Actually, probably its greatest advantage, I feel like, was pre-contest, helping you to achieve condition, because it just those bigger movements with heavy weight definitely just beats you up a lot more, and it expends a lot of calories, and it seems to really help bring out condition. In terms of muscle growth, though, I almost felt like this past year I've gotten. It's tough to say right now because I won't be able to say for sure until I get on stage. But I feel like my back has improved, and I actually haven't been going nuts, with the barbell rows or deadlifts. I've been doing them consistently, but maybe not going all out with the weight like I would in the past. And it almost seems like it's actually helped my back a bit. And one of the things that changed my mind about it a little bit was, I'm sure some of you guys have seen the video where I went out and trained with Dorian. And Dorian is always a big advocate of proper form and working the muscle and not simply moving weight. And, that definitely stuck in my mind. And, I still, like, for example, you're going to see in the workout that I go to deadlifts last, and that's done for a reason. But anyways, starting at the beginning, we started with, it's I always feel like with back, because, the lower back is as the training goes on, I know I'm going to want to do things like dumbbell rows and barbell rows and deadlift, and a lot of it, involves a lot of lower back. So I feel like back especially, it's important to get everything warmed up. So we start with, I guess you could call these like a cable pullover. It's I guess a similar motion of what would be a dumbbell pullover, except you're doing it standing and you're using a cable. I actually feel that I get a lot more out of this than doing a dumbbell pullover, and I will sometimes use a pullover machine, but I actually feel like I get the most out of it doing it this way. In this, we decided to superset with the assisted pull-up, which looks a little lame. It's kind of dorky, but as part of a superset, doing straight up pull-ups, you're not going to really get too far, and probably much more likely to just move my body by any means necessary, which is going to mean me using a lot more arm. So if you could get past the fact that most of the time the people using it are women, it's actually, I think, an effective machine to incorporate into back training. When I'm doing the pull-ups, I use a narrow grip, and I try to arch my back and look towards the ceiling, and I picture trying to force my elbows into my waist and really try to work the lower lats. Or it's important to me. I see a lot of guys sometimes their lats are a little higher, and I don't know if that's something that is that's just the way you are. That's just the way you're put together. Those are just your insertions. And that may very well be the case. But I've always admired, when I look at guys and they hit a rear lat spread or a rear double bicep, their lats, their back is really full. It's not just really wide, but it looks like their lats insert down near their waist. So that's something I always, admired, would try to emulate. And, does the training matter? I think it does. I think you can Obviously, you can't change where your muscles insert, but I think you can definitely try to bring certain things out. At least I like to believe it, so that's what I do. After this superset, we move on to dumbbell rows. And if any of you guys saw the previous video with Jose, where we trained back together, I got to give credit where credit's due. And this is one of Oscar's moves, where it's kind of like a drop set where you do a dumbbell row. I think the first set I maybe got 14 reps per arm. Drop it, switch sides. Maybe next set it cuts down pretty quick. Maybe only down to 6 to 8, and then after that, it's like, you're lucky to get 4 or so. But I mean, it's really, really, you could feel it throughout your whole back. I think it's a great, great exercise. Again, not only for hitting the muscle, but also it's one of those things I think helps bring out condition when you're pre-contest. It's just part of harder training. It's you're not just doing a lat pull down or parking yourself on a machine. Doing these, once you really start getting down as the set progresses and you really start to burn out, I mean, you're going to feel it. You'd be amazed the spots you feel it. You start to feel it in your lower back and your glutes and your hamstrings, and you're like, geez, I'm just doing a barbell row. I can't, a dumbbell row. I can't believe I'm feeling it in those spots. But you do. And I think that's valuable. So after these, I go on to barbell rows. Why not do barbell rows first? Well, again, for me, it's about kind of getting the whole body warmed up and, starting first with kind of isolation movements where we did the pullover and then the pull-ups, and then moving on to the dumbbell rows. The dumbbell rows, you start to incorporate more of your body. And now my lower back is feeling pretty warm. So by the time I get over to doing barbell rows, I feel really good. I'm not stiff, no pain in my back. Whereas if I walk in the gym cold and I'm going to, throw a couple plates on the bar or 3 plates on the bar and start doing barbell rows, I know, and I didn't always feel this way. Granted, I'm only 31, but, when I was 21, 22, 23, I come in and, just, hey, throw 3 plates on the bar. Okay, let's do barbell rows. Throw 4 plates on the bar. Let's squat. No problem. I don't really feel like that now. So in the name of that, it takes a little bit more tact. So, barbells, another move. Barbell rows are another movement I feel like are really, really important to do pre-contest. Or even if it's not, necessarily isolating your back, it's really going to place a decent strain on your body. Again, to just kind of burn through things and really try to, bring out some extra condition, because it is essentially kind of a whole body movement in a way. And also just, either way you cut it, a great back movement. So from here, after barbell rows, we move on over to just a machine row, which I always like to do either like a type of machine row like you see here, or like a close grip cable row, something where I could kind of isolate, the traps and the rhomboids, kind of that middle back area before I go and deadlift, because I feel like you get all that kind of almost pre-exhausted. And you get everything pumped up and feeling it. So then when you go to deadlift, you really got that, a really solid mind-muscle connection. So that's what we're doing here. We get a few sets in of this. Pretty straightforward. As you could see, after a couple sets, I switched up my grip just for a little variety, just to get a really, really solid squeeze. Doing that, the grip where I reverse my grip and grip it a little bit lower, I could feel it a little bit lower in the rhomboids versus that overhand grip that's a little higher. It's a little bit more across the top of the back and the traps and stuff. So after this, we move on to just finishing up with some deadlifts. It's not not super impressive weight or anything, but at this point in the workout, after having gone through everything, it's plenty of weight for me. It's that's, to be honest, it's as heavy as I can go. But it's enough to really finish things off and not risk injury. I mean, I probably could put 5 plates on the bar and go, but it's I I don't know, you're just going to be using a lot of lower back and a lot of I mean, you're using legs either way, and that's part of the reason I do it, again, to just involve the whole body. But I certainly don't want to risk any injury. And going back only a few months ago, I wasn't able to really even deadlift like this because, I don't know, my lower back just was not feeling great. And it's definitely on the comeback, and it's feeling better now. So I don't want to do anything to screw it up and set myself back. So, I mean, the workout is pretty straightforward. As you can see, it's a good mix of free weight and, you know, machine stuff. But I am conscious to try to incorporate a lot of free weight stuff, especially being pre-contest, because as I probably already said, you know, half a dozen times in this video, I feel like if for nothing else, it's very, very important for helping you to attain good condition. I think that if you were to, you know, do a lot of machine work and train more for a pump and things like that, I think you're going to have to watch your diet a lot more and do more cardio. Whereas if you just train heavier and compound movements, I mean, that just really burns a lot of calories, and that's a big help getting ready for a show. And that's really all I got for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.